All right. Hello, everyone. This is our first learning check video, so I'm going to just give it a little bit of an introduction, but after that point, you'll know what to do, so I won't repeat myself on it. You're going to go through the video. Sometimes I have a little quick reminder at the beginning. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go right into the problem. But as soon as I give you the problem, you pause and you try to work it out for yourself. And then you hit play and you see if you got it. Okay, if you got it, then keep playing the video until you get to the end. If you did not get it, you can either continue on with the video till it's at the end or start over. If you go through the video 2 complete times and are still like, it's not working, I'm not understanding what I did wrong, I'm not understanding why we did that, that's when you email me to say, okay, because I don't give every single bit of information in here that's in the notes. I'm just giving you a highlight at the end just so you can check to see, am I on the right track? Am I getting this? What parts do I still need to ask questions about or look through my notes? And so that's the goal of the learning check video. When you do this, please fix your work on your paper. That way it sinks into your brain. That's how you can make those pathways stronger. So the first one is the problem that's right up here. Just identify how many SigFigs are in there. So go ahead and hit pause. All right. So we had a couple little hints down here at the bottom for it, but let's make those hints a little bit stronger now. Leading zeros are never significant. Okay, that means all of these zeros that are in the front are never significant because we didn't get to any non-zero numbers. Okay. And then our next guy is a 1. 1 are numbers. Numbers 1 through 9 or non-zero numbers are always significant. So I just give a little underline there. So leading zeros, never significant. Non-zero numbers, always significant. Trapped or contained zeros. That means that they are blocked in by 2 significant things. So the 1 and the 1 block in the 0, so that guy's significant. Decimal points don't make things significant when it's in the leading area. Leading are never significant. What about these 2 zeros? They're blocked in, but there's 2 of them. Oh, yep, still counts. So you can have 100 zeros in there. Still counts. Okay, and now we get to that last one. Those guys are trailing zeros. And what's it with trailing zeros? They get that yellow because sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So you have to stop and think about those. Those are your cautions. If there's a decimal anywhere, they're significant. If there's no decimal anywhere, they're not significant. So even though this decimal is way over here, it still means these guys are significant. So when I get done, then I can count up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 underlined. So 8 numbers are significant. All right, so since this is SigFigs, it's a pretty short one. I'm going to do another couple here just to make sure you got it. Go ahead and for these 4, identify how many SigFigs. And these ones here are the next level, round to 3 SigFigs. So find out how many SigFigs they are and then adjust your answer. Go ahead and hit pause. And welcome back. So what do we have over here? 1, 1, 5, and 1 are all non-zeros. And I'm just going to go through and do that for all of them all at one time, because those are the ones that are easy to remember. If it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it is significant. Now let's go back and see. What else do I know? Well, on this first one, that's a contained zero. Contained are always significant. And now I have looked at every single digit on here. 1, 0, 1, 5, and 1 are all significant. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SigFigs on this first one. Over here, these guys are in the front. They are leading. Leading are never significant. Stop, don't count them. The 1 and the 9 are significant, and the 0 there is tracked or contained. He's significant. So there are 3 total sig figs there. Okay, remember, correct your work as you go to help that growth mindset. 101, oh yeah, that guy's significant, right? He's in the middle. These guys here, trailing. Is there a decimal place? No decimal place. Not significant. No decimal. Okay, so this one only has 3 sig figs. Okay, and how about over here? These guys are trailing, but they have a decimal. So they are significant. 1, 2, 3, making 5 total sig figs. Okay, now the rounding ones, you're like, why do I need to know rounding? Because on equations, and we'll practice more with equations next week, you're going to find the actual answer, and then you're going to round to the least number of sig figs of each of the persons. So this guy, round to 3 sig figs. So how many sig figs does he have? He has 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a trailing with a decimal. 5 sig figs. Okay, and we only need 3. Okay, so we only need the first 1, 2, 3. So we look at that fourth number just like you do when we're rounding in math. That's a 9. Okay, so that means we need to round up. Okay, the other way you can think about this is, in this case, we're rounding to the 3. So it's just like you're taking any number you've always had, and you only want to round to this place right here. That 9 tells you the 3 becomes a 4. 0.0124. How many sig figs does this have? Our leading zeros never count. Non-zeros always count. Always check your answer to make sure you got 3 at the end. Okay. So you would submit in for your answer, you would submit the 0.0124, because that is the answer rounded to 3 sig figs. The 3 down there is just the double check to make sure you were on the right track. How about over here? 1 and 2 are significant. Those are trailing zeros. So when they're trailing zeros, what do you look for? The decimal. Yes, there's a decimal. Yes, there's significant. So we're starting out with 5. But we only want the first 3 to count. So in this case, you are rounding this 0 right here. So you're rounding to the nearest 1. All right, so if I have 120.00, I look at that fourth digit. That fourth digit says we're rounding down. So our answer is 120, because we rounded to the nearest 1. It's not 12, because 12 and 120 are nowhere near each other. Make sure your answers are still in the same ballpark. If you have 1 million something, your answer should still be 1 million something. Okay, now this is 120, but wait a second, when I check, that's only 2 sig figs, because guess what? This is a trailing 0 without a decimal. So now you're going to do something that looks weird, but it is science. It's just not math. Your math teacher would look at you like, what are you doing? How can I make this significant? What's the rule? It needs a decimal place. Well, if I put a decimal place here, it's wrong, wrong, wrong. Put a decimal place here. Just don't put any zeros after it, or else it's going to change your answer. Round here to 3 sig figs. So 1, 0, and 1 are all significant. So I look at the 3, it rounds down. So my 101 are significant, but if I write my answer as 101, it is wrong, because I need to be near 100,000. So don't forget, you still need to bring down those other zeros. So when you're doing these, if it helps, go to that third significant figure and say, okay, I'm going to round to the nearest thousands. And then maybe it remembers, oh, 101,300. Yeah, that's 101,000 when I round to the nearest thousands. So use that as your helpful reminder. Again, if you got through this and you had a couple errors, as long as you fixed them and you're like, I'm pretty good, then just move on. You did it. Good job. If you got stuck, go back to the whole beginning, try it all again. Yes, even with the same questions so that it can firm up in your brain. But after the second time, still not there, that's when you email me, because SigFigs you're going to use the entire year. So if you mess up a SigFig problem on the final, even if you got everything else right, you're going to lose points up to 10% on that problem. So don't do that to yourself. And congrats on making it through your first learning check. Most of the times it'll just be one problem. Just I did extras for SigFigs. And have a good day.